Alright folks, here we are. We're getting ready to, I'm here with my family here. I'll keep them off camera until the end. But this is an example of what a bad gardener does, me. I don't weed, I let it go, I've been traveling, and all you see is weeds here. So, and I'm doing this on purpose. You can see how foggy the camera is. This gives you an idea how hot and god-awful humid it is here in Houston, Texas. So these weeds have gotten out of control, so what we're going to do is we're going to weed the whole garden. I'll bring my father-in-law, my wife maybe on at the end. And we're going to put down manure, compost, and we're going to put weed cloth. But bad gardener on me. I let this get out of control. As you can see, weeds everywhere. We'll show you what the before and after pictures look like. And we'll show you what we're putting down. This is the start of the video to begin the fall garden in hot, steamy Houston, Texas. Alright, remember I told you can't delegate some things in the last video? This is what sweaty, ugly gardening looks like in Houston, Texas. 100 degrees, 100% humidity. I just put down manure, chicken manure, Happy Frog, organic soil conditioner, and leaf mold. So let me tell you what it looks like. All the weeds are gone, covered with dirt. And let me show you what it looks like. This is the best part of gardening, getting messy and dirty and all kinds of stuff. Throw away the suit, the tie, and get real. Let's get out here and do some gardening. All right, let's take a look at it. All right, so what we have here is a garden that's completely weeded, okay? What I put down here, like I said, I'm gonna rake in, hoe in. I'm gonna put down chicken manure, this Happy Frog soil conditioner with microbes, bat guano, earthworm castings with mycorrhizae. So I'm really excited. So here we go. Inside the octagon, we're gonna condition this soil. Next step, I'm putting weed cloth down to prevent from what happened before. Won't get rid of all the weeds, but most of the weeds. So this is it. No weeds, guys and ladies. Now I'm gonna rake this in. I'll come back, show what it looks like. All right, next step has been completed. We put down the chicken manure, the leaf mold, and the Happy Frog. What you gotta do then is, you don't need to see me do it. There's a lot of gardening videos that show you how to hoe and show you how to rake. You know what that is, so I'm not going to demonstrate to you. But you got to dig up the current soil with a hoe, then rake in all the stuff, all the amendments I just put into it, so we're in great shape. Level it out. As such, we got some great fertile compost and other amendments that are in the soil, and next we'll put the weed cloth on. All right, here we go. Here's the finished product. My wife, who's over there, helped me put the weed cloth on. This is a two-person project, and as you'll see here, we put the weed cloth down. It's covering the entire garden. The soil amendments, the manure, all that is underneath that. I'm gonna let all this sit for about 3 or 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Let it settle in. I mixed it into the soil, and then we'll be good to plant for the fall garden. Remember, most people, the mistake I made at least, was that we tend to focus on growing our plants, not building our soil. And that's what we did here. So a lot of people are gonna comment and say, well, weed cloth doesn't work, and that's a bunch of bull. It does work. Now you're gonna get some weeds that pop up, sure you will. But I'll deal with a few weeds versus what you saw earlier in the video. And another question that comes up too, you know, how do you plant? You just simply, you know, you cut a square and where you're going to plant your plant, put some amendments in that hole, put a hose on that hole so your plant gets watered, and off you go. Water will go through this weed cloth, so it's not a problem. It's not going to stay on top. It does breathe, but it does not let those weeds get the sun, which will, you know, create a lot of weed growth. So that's it. Nice and clean. And we'll get planting here in 3 or 4 weeks. Thanks to my wife and my father-in-law for helping me. All right, so the next step of amending soil, I need to amend the soil in my green stalk garden. You can't just grow things in here time and time again and expect to have the same result. You need to amend the soil. So the same amendments, the Happy Frog with the bat guano and all that great stuff, chicken manure, and the leaf mold I'm going to put in here. Now, you've heard me say this before, in these, in each of these shelves of the garden, but you can just take them apart. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull out these plants. These are plants that are left over from summer season. their better days are gone. So we're going to start from scratch. Now, in each of these, you'll see there's soil. So I'm going to clean that up a little bit. There are a bunch of worms in here because I do put worm compost in here. I have a lot of worms in here as well, so they help keep my soil nice and loamy. So I'm going to come back, but it's important if you have a container garden that you refresh that every year. And I'm going to put the same thing in this as I did my soil garden, which I just filmed. Keep in mind, I don't have any weed issues. That's a great thing about the green stalk garden that I have. There's no weeds in here, so I don't need to put any weed cloth down. I'll be back. So what I'm going to do here real quick before I come back is I'm just going to unstack. You just take these apart one at a time. This lifts off this, that lifts off that, and so forth. And then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Hey everybody, I'm back. So you can see what I did here. Number one is I took a shower and I cleaned up because I was a freaking mess from slinging manure and compost around and so forth. I'm going to tell you what, that's hard work. Anybody who ever teases gardeners, I'm going to tell you what, get in the garden ring and see how hard it is. It's hard work. People who like gardening can appreciate it, and you can tell I've lost my voice a little bit because of the heat and humidity here and how much we worked this morning, but bear with me. So I replaced all the plants you'll see here, and the reason I came back is that it thunder showered for an hour or two. Again, I'm in Houston, Texas, and it thunder showers every day. So I got this done in time, came back, put some Happy Frog amendments in here. I put some chicken manure, and I put some leaf mold compost. And it stinks, let me tell you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sit for 2 or 3 weeks. It'll settle in. I also, by the way, put some worm compost like I talk about. So each of these layers has a good amount of worms in it, worm compost, and they're going to enjoy that chicken manure and those amendments and so forth. So by the time I plant this in 3 weeks for my fall garden, I'll be in good shape. So keep in mind, I will have a great fall garden. Most of you watching this will not be able to grow the same things that we can grow in the south in our fall garden. My fall garden will consist of sweet peppers, tomatoes, and I'll come back with another episode to show you what tomatoes I'm growing this year. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to buy some cherry tomatoes that fall over like this, and then some dwarf pepper plants, and that'll be my fall garden. Then I'll replace it again and do a winter garden. So again, remember, you build your soil in addition to growing your plants, and that'll keep your plants healthy. So I'm excited. I've done all the hard work necessary for a good fall garden. Now all I gotta do is wait 3 or 4 weeks for the heat to break. I'm starting my seeds indoors. Then I'm gonna have a great harvest both in my green stalk garden and my side garden as well. Until next time, Jeff, your executive gardener. Take care. Bye.